Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining my channel again. So this is now day 2, okay? So on day 2, well not day 2, but the second episode, sorry about that. This is the one about grand opening. It's grand opening day, yay! At Walmart. This is why I love my job. Um, so grand opening day is like no other. When you have that very first day, when the store is open to the public, oh man, guys, it's crazy. It's totally crazy. The amount of people, especially when you're in a place where there has never been a Walmart before, these people went nuts. Literally nuts, you guys. It was so crazy. The store had like um, more than capacity. We even had the fire marshals were there and everything to make sure that we didn't get too many people there in the store at one time. In fact, we had to get to a point where we had to tell people they had to wait to come into the store because we were at capacity. I mean, this store is like thousands of square feet, and we had to, the fire marshals, you know, had to tell us we couldn't allow no more people in the store till people started leaving. They were acting so crazy. You know, it's like they'd never been to a Walmart before. So maybe some of them hadn't been to Walmart before. I don't know. But the other thing was that some people were like the things they were expecting. I just don't understand. How could you expect? Yeah, we had a lot of great deals. It was like Christmas time. Um, but some of the things that they were expecting the store to have was like, what are you talking about? Um, it was just so overwhelming. And we sold out. Oh my gosh. We sold out of so much stuff so fast. That was unbelievable too. Um, and then trying to keep things stocked in the store. And one of the things that the management wanted us to do was to, they have what was called a 5-foot rule. When you see a customer, you're supposed to greet them, ask them if they're fine, everything okay, and then, just go from there. So, of course, people are going to be like, oh yeah, I don't know, where's this, where this? So us being new to the store also, they wanted us to actually escort the customer. Not just say, oh, it's down there, somewhere. They wanted us to escort the customer to the item. So not only like, I'm in produce, so it wasn't just going to helping people in the produce department, which is when you first walk in the store and all Walmarts. Produce is the first thing you see when you walk in on the food side of the store. Produce is right there. So we kind of all knew what was in our department um, because of the fact that we stocked it. But the other departments, like not everybody was working in every department, so not everybody knew where everything was. So it was like, okay, but management wanted us to um, literally walk customers to the product, okay? And some people would say, oh, no, that's okay, I can find it. I'm like, well, I need to know where it's at too. This is what I would use. I always said, well, you know what, I have to know where the item is too in case somebody else asks where it's at. So we would go, and then sometimes, it's like, okay, I think it's over in this direction, I think it's over in that direction. Um, but, we would we would eventually find the item. And then we had so many people. I don't understand, guys. Why do people not keep an eye on their kids? I just don't understand it. We had so many uh, Code Adam, which is when a parent can't find the child. How could I just don't understand how people just don't know where their kids are. they're so busy, they're on their phone or looking at this and that, and they let their kids out of their sight. It's like it's crazy. But we had so many of those uh, on our opening day. Um, I just couldn't believe it. And then you have to drop everything that you're doing and help to try to find that child. And that was one thing that we had to learn when we were doing the CBLs is, what the different codes were, like Code Atom and Code White and, the different colored codes and stuff. And the one thing that I didn't do, which I'm so happy I didn't do it, was doing cashiering, being a cashier, because of course everybody was on board, everybody was there, um, but it, every single register had lines, crazy lines, and like I said, it was just like Christmas time. Um, Everybody had crazy lines, and it was like, wow. And this, when you stop and think about it, we're like, "Hey, how long is this going to go on? How long are these people going to be acting crazy like this? How long is it going to be busy like this?" Because we had no idea, we, as many people as were against our store being there, the amount of people that came out to the store was mind-boggling. They said our store, um, at the end of the day, they were predicting that our store was going to have the be in the top, if not the top for the West Coast, if not the top, uh, not at, if not the top, at least in the top five as far as the revenue generated on opening day. That is huge. When you figure that the West Coast includes California, okay, um, it's a huge honor, to have your store be the number one producing store on opening day. It was crazy. And then you had people who also um, were protesting. Um, of course, they couldn't protest on our property, so they were protesting, um, not in our driveway, but just outside the driveway. They had their signs up and everything, and trying to stop people. I mean, they couldn't actually, stop people, but they were trying to had their signs up and yelling at people, for shopping at Walmart and everything. And it's like, um, because they always say that Walmart destroys small businesses, and Walmart does this and Walmart does that. And, again, misinformation. They never worked at a Walmart, probably never knew anybody who worked at a Walmart. But me working at a Walmart, I knew exactly what they were saying was not true, because I'm working there, and I know, so that gets a little maddening, when you hear that kind of information that people are putting out there and other people are believing it, and it's like you don't know, you're just making this stuff up, or you heard it from somebody else, so now you're going to repeat the same thing, but it's a lie, but there's not too much that you can do about that. um so anyway, so we're helping people and everything, and then you come into people who are like coming in for the for not just for the first time, but then you have some people coming in that are out of not just out of state but out of country. We had a fair amount of people who do not speak English, and I'm not talking about the illegal immigrants. I'm talking about um, there's a college, and so a lot of people were there visiting their children who were in college, and did not they did not speak English. Like I said, it wasn't Mexican. It was we had a lot of Asians, and so it was like trying to figure out what they're asking. Um, which was kind of a little difficult sometimes. So then you would like, okay, let's try to draw a picture. Okay? Let's see if we can draw a picture and figure out what it is that you're looking for. Um, of course, nobody was thinking, oh, let's grab our phones and and do um, the translate. We weren't thinking that way. So, we were just trying to think about going for the pictures and stuff, and um, that was really crazy. I did help several people like that, and we were able to um, figure out what it was they were looking for and direct them through to the product, which they were very happy about, of course. So that was nice. And then you get a feeling that when that does happen, you're like, oh wow, this was super. Um, this was funny. You're happy that you were able to help somebody, you know. So don't ever be afraid of that and think you can't, because you can. Um, you know, uh, Pictures work wonders, even if you don't think about pulling your phone out and doing that. Uh, Translate. A picture works just as well. um, so that was a lot of fun. And it was, but like I said, it was super, super hectic, trying to keep us, everything supplied and everything, and helping in other departments and taking people to where they wanted to go, um, where things that they, whatever it is they were looking for. Um, but people did get mad about the fire marshal's situation, because we had, when we had too many people in the store. And um, so it was a learning curve for us too, and for the management to really try to keep track of how many people are coming in the store. So that was really fun. And the management team was they were helpful too, because remember, this is their, for some of them, this was their first time being at Walmart too. Um, so they were they were trying to not show that they were getting stressed, which was a little bit hard. But they were trying so hard to make sure that they weren't getting stressed, and showing that they weren't getting stressed, because they didn't know where anything was. And it's like they're being overwhelmed just like everybody else. They're people, they're human too. Um, and my produce manager, um, she was really great. And um, we just all pulled together and tried to help each other, and and we'd go into the back room and we'd be like, oh my gosh, can you believe how crazy the store is right now? We would vent away from the customers. One thing about our store is that this they built our store with a new design that had not been at any Walmart before. They were trying out a new design, so we could go from the back of our back room in produce, go and down a hallway, and go all the way to the receiving, and then all the way up to the other side. So you could go from our back room and go all the way to the back to the break room, and the customers can't see you because you're behind. There's one long hallway, but the things in the hallway were also uh, the stills where they would do more storage, because our store was so huge, and the receiving was huge. But then they even made more with having more shelving down this long hallway. So they had, predicted, I guess, that we would be doing so much volume that we had to have this extra space that I understand is not in other Walmarts. So that was really, really nice too. So I guess that part worked out good, with having all that extra space for merchandise. And the our produce walk-in cooler, where we keep the stuff that has to be kept cold. That was also what I understand. That's also bigger than regular Walmart's because we could put two pallets side by side and still have room to walk around the pallets and pull stuff off the shelves. And so that room was bigger than other um, Walmarts are. So that was nice too. And it's kind of hard when you're looking at it, you're like going, well, how could this be bigger? Because you think it's small already because the volume of the how many pallets we would get in a day that had to go in the cooler, and be broken down and put on the shelves, and it's like I don't understand how this is bigger than some. This should be regular size, because it's like I don't understand how this could be bigger than what a normal Walmart is. Because this is small to me, just because of us trying to put the the merchandise and into the onto the shelves or the racks, the stills, whatever you want to call them. It that was a main problem for us too, and it's just mind-boggling. So how is pay gonna work? Um, oh, the other thing I wanted to let you guys know was that one of the other good things that Walmart has is they have you start off when you're full time. You start off with having your year supply of y- your when you one I think it's 1 to 2 when you're just hired you get 1 week vacation. Okay, and I think that goes from 1 to year 3 or year 2, and then on year 3 you get, or 4, something like that. Anyways, so you start off with that available. You start off with having your vacation available and your sick time available. There's 2 different ones. So you have your sick and you have your vacation. And when you get hired, bam, that's immediately available to use. A lot of companies don't do that. A lot of companies say you have to wait for 30 days or 90 days and then you get it. Or then you get it and but you have to, it accrues, or stuff like that. So that's another thing that we get right away, that these other people who don't like Walmart will tell you differently. But then again, as I say, people, don't take somebody else's word for it, because unless they work there, and then maybe they also uh, work there, but maybe because they didn't like the management, because maybe they got fired, that they're giving you misinformation. A lot of people, and you guys might have noticed this, a lot of people, if they had a bad experience or got fired from a job, they don't want you working there, even though if it's a great company actually, but because of the fact they got fired, they don't want anybody else working there, so they're going to spread false information, because why would they want you to work someplace that's actually a good company, but that they got fired from? So they're going to do everything they can not to have people go work there. Um, so that was another thing um, that I thought I'd let you guys know, that that what people say about that was not true. And so, anyways, getting back to opening day, it was real hard uh, to also get our breaks in on time because we were so swamped. But there's another thing that you have what's called the 6-hour rule, that for most states have this. It's a labor code violation if you work more than 6 hours without getting a break off the clock. Not a break, but you have to clock out. You have to be off the clock. Otherwise, it's a labor violation. Um, and sometimes we came like so close, and oh, geez, the time clock situation. Oh my God. So just imagine there is 100 people that we're all trying to clock in and clock out at the same time. And there's one time clock where you have to swipe your badge because your badge had like a barcode on it, and you had to swipe it to clock in and clock out and then press the buttons. Oh my gosh. So they gave you like a leadway of 7 minutes before and 7 minutes after. Ah, there is a lot of times when a lot of people are like, I've been standing in line, because then if you have a problem and your thing won't swipe, and you're gonna keep trying to swipe it and it just won't swipe. Okay, so then you're holding up the line, other people trying to clock out, other people trying to clock in, and that's happened to me a couple of times, and I just felt so bad, but it's like I gotta get clocked in too, and you have the people who have to get clocked out, but I generally would ask, well, I don't know, but I think I would, is ask, somebody clocking out for lunch, because that's the most important thing. Say I'm having a problem here, anybody clocking out for lunch, and let them clock out so they don't hit that 6 hour violation, because it reflects on you and the company, and they can get fined and you get in trouble. Because why didn't you get to the time clock in time? Why didn't you take the back? That's why they had the back way, so you don't get stopped by a customer. Because that was another thing, like that. If you got stopped by a customer, you can't pass that customer off. You have to help that customer. That that was another reason why they had decided to build that back hallway, so we would not have that deal with that situation. Um, so yeah, so that was fun too. And then, ah, the break room. Oh my gosh, you guys, the break room. Okay, so even though the break room seats like 50 people, there were so many people going to either they were on their break or on their lunch, and most of the time it was full in there. And we had like 10 microwaves, and I think we have six refrigerators. I think 6 refrigerators, and then we have the also the um, machines. We have 5 machines in there. Um, so 10 microwaves, six, refri- 6 refrigerators, and the vending machines. Um, but sometimes I don't see, since when we were in there putting the store together. I used the break room a couple of times, but sometimes the smell's in there because you've got a bunch of different people, and they keep telling them don't cook any fish in here, but they still do it anyways. And fish and burnt popcorn smells. Oh my gosh, people. They don't go away. Okay. Yes, they have ventilation, but there's no window in there. Yes, they have the ventilation, but there's no window to let those odors out. So they just linger. And so I just stopped using the break room and just go outside, because I couldn't take, you just never knew when that who was going to be cooking fish or burn popcorn. And it's like, no, I really don't want to be smelling that stuff today. Thank you very much. So, all right, I'm going to pause this just for a second. Give me 1 second, guys. I need to see where we're at here. Let's see.